So many people come to me thinking that they don't have the skills to get a remote job, or that they don't have any remote work experience, so there's no way anyone will hire them. Or they tell me that they're not in social media, or that they're not super tech savvy. So they think that for all of those reasons, or maybe one of them, they cannot get a remote job. They won't get hired. And then after 3 months, 4 months, sometimes even 2 months, they get remote jobs. So what is happening? Did I teach them something magical? Did they suddenly learn a bunch of skills that allowed them to get hired? No, that's not the case. What I do around here is make you aware of the skills that you already have, because a lot of you already have the skills to get remote jobs. And if you are a little bit more entry level, maybe you will get an entry level remote job, but you can find a remote job. Okay. The thing is that so many of you have these limiting beliefs or these misconceptions, and you think that remote jobs are just for people in social media, or for people like me who do videos, okay, or for people who are in tech, right? But right now there are so many companies that are fully remote. That means that everyone in the company works remotely, from accounting to finance to legal, the legal department, to customer service, social media and tech, of course, also human resources. The whole company is remote. When the whole company is remote, all the departments are remote. So what we need to do is we need to start looking in the right places, and we need to start finding these companies that are fully remote so that you can see all the opportunities that are out there. Because the like most of the times you do not have to learn a new skill. You have to identify the skills that you already have, and then once you know the skills that you have that are relevant for remote jobs, you update your resume, because that's another big mistake I see people making. You apply for remote jobs with the same resume that you used to apply to in-person or office jobs, but then whenever someone sees them, they're like, oh no, this person doesn't have any remote work experience, they don't know any skills, any tools that are used in remote work environments, and boom, it gets like tossed out, and then you think that you are the problem and you think that you're getting ghosted and that the remote job market is hard. But it's that you're making a series of mistakes along the way. So when people come to me and they have any of these issues, like thinking they don't have the skills, thinking they cannot get a remote job in tech, or because they're not in tech, or because they're not in social media, or because they had a career gap, and then they get a remote job in like 3 months, you think I taught them something magical? No, it's the same person as you. They just learned the right way to do the remote job search. And that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to show you the possibilities and all the different ways that you can make money online and that you can work remotely, and show you where to look for the good opportunities, show you how not to get scammed. So, people who come to me get remote jobs on average in like 3 months. And that's not because we did something magical or because they have some fancy advanced skills. Okay. Again, it's because they learned the right way to do it and they stopped making mistakes along the way. The common mistakes that everyone's making, they are not making them. So that is why they are getting remote jobs faster. So sometimes you see maybe on social media, like, oh, I got a remote job in 2 months, 3 months. And you're like, not true, because I have been trying for 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, and I cannot get a remote job. Okay. Or because I've been looking and looking, and all the remote jobs I see don't pay well. Or I see a bunch of scams, or even worse, I got scammed. Okay. I also have a lot of people, unfortunately, that come to me and they're like, I got scammed. And once people stop making those mistakes because they know what to do, then they get these remote jobs faster. So they're not special. They just had a plan, they had guidance, maybe they had support. Maybe also, one cool thing that happens when sometimes I teach someone how to get a remote job and they get a remote job, then two things happen actually. If they were to lose the remote job they had, or if they realize that they don't like the remote job as much, then they get another one in like 3 months or 2 months. Why? Because they already were able to get a remote job on their own, with my help and support the first time. So they know how to do it and they can do it again. It's like once you learn, then you can do it again. Or it's a repeatable system. Okay. And then the other cool thing that happens with these people is that maybe they help someone in their circle also get a remote job. That's very cool because I have had, for example, a lady, her name is Maria. She got a remote job within 4 months of getting my help. And then she told me, you know what? I also helped my husband get a remote job because he started seeing all the perks and benefits of working remotely and how she was happier working from home. She had more time, all these things. And he was like, okay, I want one too. How did you do that? Teach me. And she taught him how to get a remote job. So it's cool because I teach all of you, and then you can teach your friends, your spouse, your partners, anyone, right? That's also kind of how it started for me because I got my first remote job back in 2015. It was in HR. I used to hire people. And I started learning about how to about like the remote job search, how to do the resumes for remote jobs and all these things. And then I told my brother like, "Hey, I know you're working at a call center, but I know you could like with the experience that you already have and the skills you have, you could get a remote job in like customer service or something and start there." This was back in 2019. So the first person that I ever helped was my brother. Okay, so kind of like how I'm telling you that people start helping the people around them. That's exactly what I started doing because I noticed all the perks and benefits of working remotely. And when I was seeing my brother, and he was like, oh, I have to go to work and I have to commute and I have to be in the office for 8 hours and all these things. I'm like, hey, you don't have to do all that. Let me teach you how to get a remote job. And he was the first person that I helped get a remote job. So that is how this journey started for me, by helping the people around me. My mom has a remote job. My best friend has a remote job. My brother and his girlfriend, everyone around me that wants to work remotely works remotely because I have the plan, I have the guidance, I have the tools, and why not just spread the lifestyle upgrade, right? So yeah, that's the thing. Don't think that to get a remote job, you need to be some sort of special human, or you need to be a content creator, or you need to be in tech. No, there are remote jobs out there for everyone. It's just a matter of identifying the skills, knowing where to look, and then once you know all of that, you apply consistently because that's also something I see. People come to me and they're like, oh, I've applied to 5 remote jobs and I didn't get any, and I think it's impossible. And I'm like, 5? That's it? That's not enough. So you also need to get really consistent with your remote job search and with your application so that you can get a remote job. Okay. So once you follow all those steps, you start getting remote jobs, and it's not magically that it starts happening. It's just that you have a plan, you have support, you have guidance, all those good things. And I have been offering different resources, paid and free, for since 2019 now. I have a free remote job directory that you can take advantage of. It's wantremotejobs.com. And I also have a library of resources in my Substack for people who want to get remote jobs, different articles, guides, handbooks, a bunch of things that if you follow, you can start piecing together your remote job search. I also have a course, and that one has helped so many people get remote jobs because that is like the step by step of exactly what to do to get a remote job. And if you follow the steps in order, you are able to get a remote job in like 3 months if you have more free time, up to 6 months if you're someone who's busier. And if you're like, maybe you have a full time job or you have kids, then it can take like 6 months for you. And now, what I'm doing for the first time, because people are always like, hey, but do you have a program with more support? Do you have a program where I can ask you questions all the time? So for the first time, I'm offering something different. It's a 30-day challenge in which I offer you kind of like the videos and the guidance that I offer you in the course, but I also give you like a community of people doing the same thing at the same time, so you're more motivated. And the course is self-paced and people are getting results. So with this one, I wanted to make sure, number one, that people actually completed everything and that we got like results faster. And I'm going to be inside of a group chat with all of you, like giving you motivation, guidance, support. You can ask me questions every day so that we really make this happen for you so that you can get a remote job. And we're going to do this for, again, 30 days. It's a 30-day challenge. So I always say that the 31st days of your remote job search can be the most important, because it's when you're like making sure that your remote job search foundation is right. Okay. I always say also that it's like baking a cake. You cannot just go straight to like baking the cake if you don't do like the ingredients, if they're not high quality, if you didn't worry about the ingredients, your cake is gonna suck. So that's what you sometimes you do in the remote job search. You go straight to baking, you go straight to applying, and you hope for the best, right? But what about the ingredients? Are they good? Did we do it right? So that's what we're focusing on those first 30 days. In that 30-day challenge, we're gonna make sure your ingredients are right, that we know what your skills are, that your resume is good, that your cover letter is good. So you're gonna end the 30 days with the good ingredients to then start baking your cake. All right. So the 30-day challenge starts September 1st, and this is your opportunity to do the remote job search with more motivation and guidance and support from me. So you can ask me questions. I'll be checking in with you daily, okay? I am Andrea Valeria. I am a remote work specialist, and I've been helping people get remote jobs since 2019. I was one of the first ones to start teaching about this. Right now, a lot of people have copied a lot of my content and a lot of my methods, but it's because they know my methods work. So I can't blame them. They want to also share them with others. All right. If you want more information about the remote job search, and if you want to know how I helped my mom get a remote job, she was 62 when she got it, and it took her 2 months to get it. You can go watch that video over here and see what we did to help her. Okay, I'll see you inside the challenge if you join. Ciao.